May His face shine upon you. That idea of light that dispels the darkness, that dispels the ignorance, that dispels the misunderstanding of who God is and what this world is about, really. Because the more we surround ourselves with darkness or find ourselves in the dusky parts of life, the less we really know and recognize what's really going on. But He is our light. It says He is my light. He is my strength, or the word there could also be translated stronghold. Hey, David was a warrior. He knew what it was to find a stronghold, especially when maybe Saul and his army are out to get you. Finding a good place of safety, that's great. Okay, well, if the Lord provides knowledge, wisdom, truth, and energy, He's my light. And the Lord provides strength. He is a stronghold. Who should we fear? Is there anything or anyone we should fear? No. No. So when we find ourselves in that place, Psalm 27 verse 1 is a great place to go. Declaring it to himself, David says, "The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the strength or the stronghold of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid?" God makes the weak strong. He goes through in the rest of the psalm and identifies situations where, well, he had reason to be afraid. When the wicked came against me to eat up my flesh, an army encamped against me, but they stumbled and fell, so my heart shall not fear, even though war shall rise against me. In this I will be confident. In what? The Lord is my light and my salvation. I got nothing to be afraid of. He goes on in two prayers in this particular psalm, verses 4 through 6. He basically says, I just want to stay with the Lord. I just want to stay in the house of the Lord, or that I might dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Interesting that he should say that, because remember, the temple was not constructed until after David. The temple did not exist. The tabernacle was in existence, and he brought the Ark of the Covenant into Jerusalem, but it was not referred to as the house of the Lord. He's not talking about, I want to hang out in the temple all the time, because it didn't exist at that time. He's talking about dwelling in the dwelling place of the Lord. Isn't it cool that Jesus said to his disciples, hey, I'm going away, but don't be bummed out, because I'm going to prepare a place for you, so that when I come, I can take you to be with me forever. Oh yeah. We get those glimpses in our life of the presence of God, or God just miraculously, amazingly moves in our life, or we just have that sense of His presence, and we go, I just want to stay here. And the life in this world invades, and we go back to another place of the struggles of this life. But the day is coming when Jesus will come and take us to be where He is forever. Oh, David, I'm with you, man. Oh, that I might dwell in the house of the Lord forever. But that is our promise. His second prayer is, Lord, have mercy on me. And then he finishes this psalm. Take a look at it. Verse 13, I would have lost heart unless I had believed that I would see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. There's a reason to declare the truth of the Lord to yourself. It always amazes me when I meet people or talk to people who live a life of sometimes Christianity and wonder why it doesn't, quote unquote, work. They live their life sort of in the kingdom and mostly in the world, and go, why am I having so much struggle? I pray and this doesn't just happen. And they begin to get clouded in their thinking. You got to be in the Lord. It's like that branch. You can't cut the branch off and expect it to bloom. We actually have a magnolia in our backyard that a branch fell under the snow. And that magnolia bloomed. On the broken part, it's still connected somewhat. It bloomed. But now, after blooming, there are no leaves coming out on that guy. I mean, and I need to cut that thing totally off. But we can't continue to not abide in the Lord and expect to receive His nourishment. It just doesn't work that way. If you quit eating, you would get hungry and eventually get sick. Right? Everybody agree with that? Yeah? No? Nobody agrees. Wow. Why do we think we can separate ourselves from communion with God and continue on? David says, I had a lost heart. I would never have made it unless I had believed that I would see God's goodness in the land of the living now, not just then, but now. And so he puts his trust and his faith in the Lord. Without faith in the Lord, I wouldn't make it, he's saying. Without faith in the Lord, neither would I, neither will you. We can't make it on our own. In Psalm 28, I would title this one, Where are you going to go? Where are you going to go? First verse says, To you I will cry, O Lord, my rock. Don't be silent to me, lest if you are silent to me, I become like those who go down to the pit. The question I would ask is, where do you go in times of need? Where do you go? In those times of struggle, in those times of, oh man, this is a tough situation, where do you go? Where do you go? Do you go to your inner strength? I can do this. I'm going to do this. Do you go to man's wisdom? Do you go to the library and try and find a good book? Do you turn Oprah on or Dr. Phil? Do you go to somebody that you know? David says, I will cry to you, O Lord. I will cry to you. He's the source of our strength. Nothing else will sustain. That's why he says, you know what? It's like without your help, it's like death. If I don't hear from you, if you're silent to me, Lord, I might as well just die. That's what he means by going down to the pit. I might as well just die. He says, Lord, hear my voice. Don't separate me. And then in verse 6 he says, Blessed be the Lord, because he's heard the voice of my supplications. I don't know why it is that after 30 plus years of following the Lord, when I pray and God moves in a mighty way, I'm surprised. And I go, oh, wow, isn't that amazing? And then part of me goes, no. What did you expect? What did you expect? Didn't you expect the Lord to hear your prayer? Didn't you expect the Lord to do mighty things? Didn't you expect that? Not that my expectation twists God's arm, but I should be praying in faith, believing that I have what I bring before the Lord, because that's His promise. That's His promise. As I pray according to His will, it's done for me in heaven. Wow! So why do I go, wow, Lord, you answered that prayer? I should be going, that's what I expected, Lord. Thank you so much. Not to be arrogant or think nothing of it, but wow, Lord. Wow, what you did. How cool. Nothing else will sustain.